Wow, guys. Wow. Wow. That was the most bittersweet ending I've ever seen in any medium at all, like ever. That was probably the most bittersweet, I'll say it again, the most bittersweet ending ever. And part of me is sad. Part of me is sad because I'm gonna miss you guys. I am going to miss talking about this series every Sunday with you guys for hours. I mean, just taking the time, responding to all the comments and everything, just hearing your guys' thoughts. Good thing it's going to be more Gundam. Good thing we have Thunderbolt Axis, which is a continuation in a way, or like a side story to Gundam Unicorn coming. Good thing there's still Thunderbolt Gundam out there. It's not fair. Part of me feels that this just isn't fair the way this all went down. But another part of me is happy. Because I told you guys. I told you. This is why they call me Infrared. Besides playing snipers on shooting games, I see through this stuff. I see it. Told you guys for weeks. This was what was going to happen. Told you guys this is how it was going to go down. So for that, I need you guys to pass something around. I need you guys to get something started. You can hashtag it. Scott was right. I was right. I told you guys. Stahl was gonna leave this series victorious. I told you. You can't say I didn't tell you because I told you. And everybody doubted me. Everybody had hope. Everybody had this optimism that Tekkadan was just gonna rise up and win this war, and that they were gonna do anything but try to survive. Hell, I'm even shocked it happened. I'm looking like I was halfway expecting some type of ass pull out victory for them to do more than what they needed to than to survive, and they didn't. A series that actually gave us the villain as the victor. A series that gave us an ending for the bad guys. But is it really the bad guys? Because in war, somebody has to win, somebody has to lose. And what this series did was decide to show you the ending for the people who were victorious. Yes, it's different. It is very different, and that's why I commend it. Am I okay with it? No, it's a lot of things that I'm not okay with. But I understand what happened. I understand why. Gjallarhorn won. We got a Gjallarhorn ending. And the members of Tekkadan, now disbanded, are all just living their lives. Just living regular lives. Happy to be alive as they should be. It's not fair. No, it's not fair. But it's realistic. And Gundam Iron-Blooded Orphans has brought us nothing but realism the entire series. For them not even using beam weapons. I mean, they had them, yeah. We saw it with the mobile armors, but this was a melee series. This was like a Smash Mouth. This was a really brutal series. They had more weapons, like with the fucking Dying Sleeves, which were used again. And Rustal didn't even get a slap on the hand for it. Am I okay with the Rustal being victorious? No, I'm not okay. I'm not. Let's get to what I'm not okay with. I am not okay with Rustal being victorious, clearly, cleanly, undisputed, while McGillis is painted as a villain. Tekkadan, forgotten, gone, villains. Not okay with that. Not okay with the fact that Rustal took credit for ending the human debris. I'm not okay that this man took Farid's dream. This guy rebuilt Gjallarhorn in his own image from the ground up, disbanding the 7 stars, being the only head of Gjallarhorn, putting the bow back into his vault. Not okay with that. I'm not okay with Galeo and Julieta having the ending that we wanted for Tekkadan, for them riding off into the sunset, being a couple, all happy. Julieta taking the title of the knight that defeated the demon. Not okay with Kudelia, Tewaz, Makanai, everybody just bowing down to Rustal. And this man being painted as a hero. Everybody sees this man as a hero. While Tekkadan were the villains. McGillis were the villains. Not okay with that. I'm not. Yeah, I'm not okay with Tekkadan gritting their teeth, and everybody gritting their teeth and just taking what they were given, because Rustal is shown as the victor, the man who won in the most historic fashion, where everybody just grit their teeth. You know, the people who made it out from Tekkadan, you know, they're living their lives regularly. They're just gritting their teeth and taking it. And they know what Rustal did. Rustal knows what he did. And everybody's just like, okay, let's just come to an agreement. And I mean, I'm kind of at odds with that, because it does paint Rustal in a certain light. He got his victory. He got Tekkadan's scapegoat. He saw Farid. People see Farid as a crazed madman now who just needs to be taken down. He rebuilt Gjallarhorn in his image, got the image of the protector of the people back. But he knows what he did. He knows the scummery that he did to win this war. And when we see him later on, when he signs this deal with Kudelia to free Mars, because, you know, they pretty much dissolve Mars, let Mars be his own independent state. That's a win there, or planet, whatever you want to call it. Anyway, they win there. She gets what she wants as the Maiden of Revolution. Her planet is free. Eugene is her bodyguard. It's things like that that happen. But that look of guilt on Julietta's face when she saw Eugene, that smug smile that Rustal had, knowing that, you know, no one talks about Tekkadan. Tekkadan, what, who are those villains? That smug smile of knowing that he was solely responsible for them being painted in that light instead of orphans who were forced into war, a war they should have never fought. I'm not okay with it, but I understand. And the reason why I understand, because again, in war, you can only have one victor. In war, the stronger wins most of the time, and the underdogs don't. That's why, yes, I'm sick. I'm sickened by it. I'm absolutely sickened, just like you guys. Again, I'm sick that Julieta accepted her flaws and said, you know what, I stayed human, but we won. I'm sick that Galeo is having the life that Mikazuki should have in that wheelchair. That little conversation that both of them had by saying, oh yeah, now that you took down the devil of Tekkadan, you are a high-ranking knight who, when Rustal steps down, you're next. And she's sitting there like, yeah, it was all my own power because I decided to stay human. And to see Galeo saying, well, I wish I would have did the same thing. It's too late to have regrets now, but that's what happens. For these people to be painted as the heroes, they're not the heroes, but they're the victors. And because of that, we got a victorious ending for them. It's very different. I mean, I've said this already, but it's very different. That's why I like it. That's why I understand it, because it's real. But I'm not gonna sit here and act like I'm okay with it. But it's real, and I told you so. So yeah, to see Galeo and Julieta ride off into the sun, to see Rustal go off into the sunset as this hero who changed the world, yeah, it sickens me, it upsets me. I'm salty about it. Yeah, of course I am. To see Rustal use the Dying Sleeve once again, this illegal weapon coming into play, and he probably had some type of tactic to cover him using it and not get a slap on the hand from using this, I'm not okay with that. I'm not. But that's what happens if we don't always get what we want in war. And that is why I love this series, because it didn't give a fuck about our feelings. Somewhere Tomino is smiling saying, this is what I want. This is what I want for Gundam. But what I'm not okay with is, because this was a lot of people's first Gundam series, it's probably going to be their last, because they're looking like, if this is what I have to look forward to in this series called Gundam, I don't want any more. And I really don't want to see that. That's what I'm upset about, because it could have been a little bit more happy. Maybe they could have even pulled the ass pull and I could have been completely wrong. And then maybe we'll get more people watching Gundam because it's a shitload coming out. But they decided to say, you know what? Back in the day when Gundam was out, we gave it to people just like this. So pull your pants down and take it. And I don't know how I feel about it. And because I am a UC vet who watched like the older Gundams, I'm okay with it. But I can understand why probably everybody who watched this series is going to be triggered and feel like they wasted their time. Because you got an ending where the villain won. And that rarely happens. Now, there is room for a lot more. And this is a conversation that we had many times about this series, because just in this episode alone, we've seen where this series can go. Because we got to see our son Ride grow up and become a symbol of vengeance, killing that slimy fuck Noblesse. They can very well go with him because he looks oh so beastly. rocking Orga's scarf. We got to see that. Again, there is still the possibility that we can get some OVAs or a movie about the Calamity War. And even Atra, who has a son, Atsuki, he may one day grow up and ask about his father or want vengeance for his father. He may even grow up and join this new Galahorn. That would be mind-blowing. Like, imagine him joining this new Galahorn and then find out about his father and wanting revenge. That would be freaking awesome. But for now, we just have to accept that they have closed the book on this series, and these war orphans who shouldn't have been in a war to begin with are alive, living their lives, and they decided to say, you know what? At least we're better off than what we were when we started. And you can't ask for a more realistic ending than that. I know we don't watch anime and things like that for realism, but at the same time, I commend them for saying, you know what? We're going to make this real. And I know a lot of people are probably going to disagree with it. A lot of people are probably going to hate this series now. But me personally, I enjoyed that they actually gave us this take on it, because it's something that you don't see often at all or ever in anime. So hand claps to Gundam for that. The rest of this video is probably already long already. It's probably going to be recap because the episode was really straightforward. They really did close the book on this series. And I want to talk about more, I want to speculate more, but that was pretty much all that I can give you guys was my final thoughts on the series, because it's nothing else left besides speculation that we can do. There's no more theory crafting, there's no more what ifs, there's no more what could happen. This is the end of the story, and this is how they decide to make it all go down. So we have to say farewell to Iron-Blooded Orphans and hope that they will continue some type of series in this timeline, so we can still keep that hope. And we can't get to some bright points because that fucker Eok is dead. Woo! Woo! Yes! 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 Victory! Victory! That scummy bastard, sorry fuck, probably the worst character I've ever seen in anything besides like Joffrey in Game of Thrones, got what was coming to him. But it was at the expense that in this war, Mikazuki and Akihiro decided to just stay behind, just them two alone, and sent everybody that was left in Tekkadan on the field out into the tunnels to escape. They was like, you know what, you guys get away, we'll hold them off. And they did a very damn good job too, because we got to see Mikazuki go into beast mode once again, seeing the red eyes, taking the field by storm. We had Akihiro going in, that silly fuck Eok went in, and as soon as Akihiro heard who he was like, Eok, it was you. You were the one who was responsible for killing Teiwaz. Oh no, rest in peace to Amida and Naze. Clamping that scissor on his ass, killing him. But unfortunately, we lost Akihiro, because as soon as he did that, he ended up getting wrecked by a whole bunch of suits that stabbed him and ran him through. But he got the satisfaction. He even said himself, now knowing that I killed you, now knowing that my people are on the escape, I can die happy. Mikazuki asking Barbados for power one more time. Asking Barbados, I'm not done, are you done? Because this was all after Rustar decided to use the Dynasty Leaf once again to lay waste to the battlefield, and he thought they were done. And they were done. They were already seeing the light of death in their eyes, but they still fought through with their last breath for one more attack. Mikazuki fought until he was unconscious. Then Julieta swoops in, steals the victory from an unconscious kid, who, if he had just a little bit more time, he would have took her out too. Hell, maybe if they had a little bit more time and that fucking illegal weapon wasn't used, they probably could have turned the tide completely. But the fact that she took this victory holding up the head of the Barbados, and she's being praised as the knight who defeated the demon. You didn't do anything, he was already dead. You just gotta accept it. Just gotta be happy that Eok died. So at least that put a smile on my face. At least Akihiro went out with peace in his heart. At least Mikazuki went out still achieving Orga's dream going forward, making sure that everybody else made it out, because we all knew that Mikazuki could possibly die in this series. He knew that he was gonna die. but he died knowing that he did well, and he was just wondering if everybody's going to be mad at him. And that was just so sad, because he was like, look at me, and now I'm all dirty, so I wonder if Atra's going to get mad at me. It tore me apart, it did, but he gets to see Orga on the other side. He gets to see Shino, Lofter, Biscuit. Man, it was real. It was real, and Julieta does not deserve to be praised, but that's how it works. That I'm not okay with. So again, Rustal is praised. We get to catch up with everybody in this time skip. You know, Dante is taking over the orphanage. Takaki, he is a secretary for somebody somewhere, I forgot. And he's actually set in position to be a pretty high power, like in government, at one day once he grows up. So that was good for Takaki to get out of this life and find something for himself. That was good that Dante is taking care of the kids and there's no more human debris. So it's an orphanage there for people like them to grow and succeed. Eugene is Cordelia's bodyguard, so in a way he still got a pretty important job. You know, Chad went back to work doing his thing. The old man and Maribit, they actually have 2 kids, and then we get to see Atra, and we get to see her kid, Akaski, looking just like Mikazuki, just with her hair. So it was some good things to take out of it. Eok is dead. I can't say that enough. Eok is dead. The scummy fuck, the crusty fuck is dead. We got that at the very least. So it wasn't all bad in this episode. Just gotta take your losses where you can get it, because Tekkadan shouldn't have been in this war. So to see that they, at the very least, some people survived and went on to have better lives, that makes me feel a little bit better. Not as good as it could have been, but a little bit better. And of course, the last thing that made me feel better is that to see Tekkadan actually disbanded. I mean, it was some people that Eugene said didn't take this line down like everybody else did. It was some people that were upset that this all happened. Like Riot and a couple of other people actually didn't come back to Mars because they were disgusted that Noblesse was still there. Nobody did anything about it. But yeah, he saw him later in life, all grown up. Again, our son Riot, all grown up, taking vengeance into his own hands, and that was fulfilling. Avenging Orga's death, so at least we got that too. And we also seen that some of these surviving members of Tekkadan are also working with the turbines, so they got taken in by them as well. And that's how our story ends, folks. That is the story of Tekkadan. Was it the ending everybody wanted? No, it was very bittersweet. That has pretty much been the topic of this entire video. And I can only hope that we just get more. So with that being said, what do I give Gundam Iron-Blooded Orphans as a series as a whole? I'm gonna go ahead and give it a 9 out of 10. 9 out of 10. Now I'm gonna go ahead and say if this has been my favorite Gundam series, period. Trumping Mobile Suit Zeta Gundam, which was my number 1, which is now number 2. Number 3 being 00. Because, you know, I kind of watched 8th MS Team again, and it was just some stuff that I was like, you know what, I think 00 did it better. But then, you know what, I'm not even gonna get into that. That may be another video entirely. So for now, Iron-Blooded Orphans is number 1, Zeta's number 2, MS Team number 3, 8th MS Team number 3. And the reason why I give Iron-Blooded Orphans a 9 out of 10 instead of a perfect 10 is because this series left so much open. Again, there's so much we don't know about the Calamity War that hopefully we will. Hopefully this series will kick off a new universal century like the original did before, and we get more in this timeline. Somebody has to take out Rustal, right? That's what everybody wants, because this man did not win by heroic means. He won by strategic means. So maybe somebody will rise up and take revenge. I already touched on that. And the fact that the ending of this series may have turned a lot of people off on Gundam at a time when they're really pushing Gundam right now. So it might have been a double-edged sword for them to go this hard with the series that was kind of opening the doors for people to watch more of the series. And you see now, like, if you keep up with right stuff, like almost every Gundam that's been made has been converted to Blu-ray and DVD now. So, you know, they're getting excited. Crunchyroll and Hulu have damn near all the Gundam series on there. And the first modernized Gundam that we get for this decade is one that left people saying, fuck, the good guys didn't win. Hey, that's what happened in Universal Century, so hey, we gotta deal with it. But at the same time, I can understand why people would be upset with this ending, and I really hope that this didn't turn you off for Gundam as a whole, and you will continue to give the rest a try, because I'm going to be covering as many Gundam series as I can as they come out. As you know already, or may not know, I am covering Thunderbolt Gundam. I already did a review for the first episode. I'm amped for Twilight Axis, so I'll be covering that when it comes out. And I hope to see you guys again soon. It has been nothing but fun to talk to you guys for these 50 episodes. Man, it's been a year. I mean, it was been gapped out, but it's pretty much been a year because it was around this time when I started doing reviews for Gundam. And I absolutely loved it. So I'm really interested in knowing what you guys thought about this episode and this series overall. I know it's going to be some people who are going to be straight up livid and upset. I'm here to counsel you in, saying, welcome to the new Universal Century. But I understand. So, if you like this video, go ahead and drop it a like. Sorry that it was very long, but there was a lot I had to say about this series, especially with it now being my #1 Gundam series of all. So, drop it a like if you liked the video, and if you want to hear more, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, because this is the end of the winter season and the spring season has definitely begun, and there's not a shortage of content for you to indulge on this channel. And as I always say, you guys can be anywhere on YouTube right now, but you chose to listen to me. I really appreciate that, so thanks for stopping by, and thank you guys so much for joining me on this Gundam ride, and I hope you continue on the rest of the things that I have for you in this spring season and everything going forward. One last time, it's your boy Infrared Scott signing out. See you soon.